Wanna transform your traditional value-minded consumer into an overspending husk of a whale? Well, try this one neat trick, courtesy of James Workshop's Value Emporium, where the servitors are always smiling. Instead of discounting your existing products, why not package them together and sell them at a much higher price point than anyone would have been willing to spend otherwise? Pretend to slash the price a little and you'll have them eaten out of the palm of your hand in no time. Hey, guaranteed! And here's a little bonus for y'all. Add a little dash of FOMO and you're guaranteed to turn a price-sensitive consumer into a desperate clawing addict, as they try to eke out a slither of value from your otherwise pretty meager offerings. Yeeehaw! No credit, no problem. So come on down to James Workshop's Value Emporium, where you'd best buy now before the prices go up. Holidays are coming, and that means there's some massive boxes to lovingly put under the Christmas tree. Or is there? Hey everyone, my name is Discourse, and today I'm going to be a bit of a Grinch as I try to ruin your Christmas, as I explain why the Battleforce boxes are worse than you think. Sorry. I'm probably gonna catch some flack for this one. Trying to steal Christmas never goes down well. But maybe by the end of it, my heart will grow 3 sizes as big. Probably not though. So yes, Games Workshop have revealed the new battle boxes for 2021 Christmas. And predictably, they're being ogled pretty incessantly by the player base. Because really, this is the only time of year when hobbyists begin to associate the words value with Games Workshop. Like seriously, I'm pretty sure I've seen a few hobbyists frothing at the mouth over these. And when there was a suggestion recently that they might not even be coming, I can't be the only one who heard a gnashing of teeth. But it is interesting that they have been revealed so late in the year. That isn't usual, and I'm going to touch on that later in this video. But first, the Battleforce boxes have been revealed, so let's run through them. Now, I'm going to be brief here because the prices of the boxes haven't been released yet, so that makes it pretty hard to judge their value. But last year they were sold at $200, $210. So I'm going to assume that the same is true here. However, I wouldn't be surprised if they went up in price this year. $230, that's my prediction. Maybe $250. I'm gonna play safe, $230. So what I'm going to do is when the prices are revealed and the boxes are put up for pre-order, I'm going to do another quick video where I will give you my thoughts on the value of each box. And I'll even do something a little bit spicy, something a little bit cheeky. But you'll have to catch the video when it's out to find out what that is. And I will link it in the corner here when it's released. So let's run through the boxes as they are. And first we're going to start with the Age of Sigmar boxes. Ooh. So here we have the Soulblight Gravelords who carry the legacy of the vampire counts. Spooky. And they do it quite well in my opinion. I'm a big fan of the zombies, but not so necessarily the man-bat thing that they have going on. For one, I don't like really elaborate bases, and secondly, I just don't like the bottom half of the model. It's just kind of weird. Horses for courses. I do like the Blood Knights though. Blood Knights are cool. I've got nothing more to say on that. Next up, we have the Slaanesh box set. Unfortunately for the 40k players out there are no demons. Sad, but the mortal sculpts for the Hedonites of Slaanesh are the best part. I love the decadent Persian theme that they have going on. And I like the use of the word carnival. It doesn't get used enough, except for in the game Carnival. We also have the Venari Shining Host box, which is for the Luminef Realm Lords. High Elves have never been one of my favorite factions, but I do love the plumed helmets. I will give them that. I actually prefer that much more over the Warhammer Fantasy equivalent of cones. We also have the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Their box is called the Mortisan Tithe Echelon, which is just a soup of words. And this, again, is fine. It's okay. But I'm not a fan of the Ossiarch style. There's too many bones. Way too many bones. They make everything out of bones. It would be like humans making everything out of human. Ugh. Ugh. I don't know. Bring back Tomb Kings. And on the 40k side, we have, oh my god, it's the Space Marine Battleforce. Wow. Did anyone see that coming? I know I didn't. I'm shocked. Shocked. And you get a lot of Primaris Marines and a floaty tank thing. I don't bother to learn the names of Space Marine things. It's a principal stand I have. Also, I can't read 60 different unit names. I lost interest long ago. I'm alienating a lot of people here. It looks like a fine box if you're a Space Marine player, but I mean, there was one last year. They get another one this year. Just saying. Next up, we have the Sisters of Battle box, and it looks a little bit weenie, unfortunately. Not enough infantry, there's just 2 different tanks. And I love the Exorcist. The idea of blowing up your enemies with an organ gun has always appealed to me. I think it appeals to most people, and it hits that aesthetic of the ecclesiarchy in practicality with the modern warfare requirements. That is to say, plenty of bombs. But unfortunately, this box just doesn't get me that excited. This is one that GW could have gotten me with. I would have been tempted by a Sisters of Battle box, but this isn't the one I want. And next up, we have an Adeptus Mechanicus box for those who want to win some tournaments. And this one is probably the best out of the lot. It seemingly provides the most value, but we'll see what it looks like when the prices are revealed. Not all of these will cost the same, although the Taraxi have always been a little bit weird aesthetically to me, but I get it, I understand the appeal. And next up, we have Nurgle for some reason. Apparently he's pretty popular. Honestly, I don't get it. I'm gonna let you in on a secret here. I don't like Nurgle. I just don't like the models. I think they're gross, which I guess is the point. So there, that's what I have to say about these things. Not for me, I'm afraid, but power to you if you like them. And next up, we also have a Necron Battleforce, so get your bolt gun metal ready and your dry brush prepared and get ready to paint some Necrons. And this box looks like it's trying to get away with moving some unsold products. And then finally, we have the Orc Battleforce, which is obviously the funnest, you know, because green is best, obviously. Although interestingly, this box comes with 20 boys in it, and those boys seem to be the same sprues as were contained in the Combat Patrol. So yeah, I hope you like repeats of the same monopose models for your core infantry, and also mixed squads. Yeah, this is a problem, and it's a problem I predicted in my original assessment of the Orc Combat Patrol box. So I'm gonna take this one as a win, although a loss as well, because that obviously degrades from the quality of this box. So if you buy this and you bought the Combat Patrol, I guess you best enjoy 3 of the same looking squads. I'm sorry, but these monopose models don't work for an army level game. Games Workshop need to let players customize their orcs. Please, GW, you're killing the orcs here. So yeah, that was the Battle Forces this year, and to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed that there's no Genestealer Cult box. I know there was one last year, but still, 3 Emporium boxes? Come on. And the reason why I was hoping for a Genestealer Cult box is because I'm hoping to kit bash a desert-themed army. And I really don't want to spend $570 on 6 start collecting boxes to, and I'm gonna quote here, to get a starting point to build an army from. And that's the sort of thing that only someone willing to drop a lot of money on miniatures from Games Workshop would say, right? Like to someone outside the hobby telling them, oh, so I want to start an army of wee toy soldiers, should never come before the words, so I spent $600. Anyone except for us seasoned vets would find that mad. But here we are. I'm willing to potentially spend $200 in order to save 30. That cost calculation sounds okay to the established hobbyist, one that is immersed in the Games Workshop ecosystem. But if we take a step back, is it as good as we think? And could it be better? And a big underlying point to this is the fact that Games Workshop don't do sales. Instead they do bundled boxes. Why not package them together and sell them at a much higher price point than anyone would have been willing to spend otherwise? Yeah, because while bundles like the Battleforce boxes can be good for consumers, saving money when buying models is clearly a good thing. But bundles are not exactly an objective good. They come with downsides, especially for the consumer. For one, bundles work to obfuscate the price and value of what you're buying. In fact, bundles have been shown to increase the perception of value from consumers, even if there isn't any actual savings. Looking at you, old foes bundle? Check out the next video for more on that. But to put it another way, bundling models together serves to reduce the pain from paying. because it makes it harder for consumers to know what the correct price of the product is. Buying things separately is transparent, bundling is not. This is why the Space Marine Combat Patrol at $140 looks like good value, but the $60 Heavy Intercessor Squad does not. And yeah, the reason why we see Games Workshop go all in on the bundled Battleforce boxes over the Christmas period, and why they release new product lines in big bundled boxes too, is that it causes sales to soar. And in a vacuum, I'm not opposed to the idea of Games Workshop selling miniatures. I get that they're a business, and shady practices and bad consumer relations notwithstanding, they ultimately need to pay the wages of their employees. So I understand, but as consumers, I think it's important that we maintain some perspective here, because these bundles work to upsell us on things that we otherwise wouldn't buy if it wasn't for the bundle in the first place. I mean, I can't tell you how many Beastman Shaman I have lying around because of the Start Collecting box. I don't want more, I don't need more, but I do want more Bestigors, and the Start Collecting box is the best place to get them. So I guess I'll have more Shaman, please. And yes, that naturally leads us to the fact that Games Workshop already indulge in all of these things with the Start Collecting boxes and with the Combat Patrols. So all these problems are not unique to the Battleforces. But I will say that Battleforces are bigger, a lot bigger. And as a result, while the value offering can be better with the Battleforces, the downsides are also multiplied by like a bazillion. And to that end, it is no accident that Games Workshop have been progressively replacing the Start Collecting boxes with bigger, more expensive Combat Patrol boxes. And now we have these larger Vanguard boxes rolling out for Age of Sigmar to replace their Start Collecting boxes too. So this just continues Games Workshop's trend of destroying everything good about Age of Sigmar as it seeks to capitalize on that game system the same way that it does with 40k. And they do this to increase the amount of money that the savvy consumer will have to spend in order for them to eke out a little bit of value and to save some money. The buy-in is a lot bigger. You must pay the iron price. Or, well, it was gold. I mean, if you defeat the Games Workshop employees, you could probably pay the iron price. I'm not advocating for attacks on Games Workshop stores. I am not advocating for brigandry. I should probably cut this bit. And here we see the interesting interplay between game mechanics and the business model of Games Workshop, as the cheeky suggestion that Games Workshop build its games around the business model rather than the other way around peeks its little head above the parapet to give us a knowing wink and slink away again. Was the Combat Patrol structure created for the game so that Games Workshop could sell bigger bundles? Or were the bundles created to make it easier to start a coherent army? I couldn't tell you, but I'll say one thing, very convenient, isn't it? And by getting hobbyists to spend more and more on ever-increasing bundles, GW managed to extract more and more money that they otherwise wouldn't have. And yeah, Battleforce boxes are significant purchases in their own right. And while Games Workshop think of them as a replacement for a seal, they make for a very poor substitute. Seriously, think about these boxes another way. Would you think these were so good if they were described as buy 8, get 1 for free? I mean, that's fine if you never see a seal otherwise, but it's not exactly setting the world on fire here. And these boxes are so alienating to hobbyists who can't afford to buy big. The entire point of a seal should be to allow hobbyists with less money to have a chance at getting the models they want at an appropriate price point for them. Not to expect them to spend hundreds of dollars to save $10 on a Space Marine. And Games Workshop don't exactly give a lot of lead time up to these. We got an announcement of these bundles when? On the 11th of November? For a reveal on the 18th. Thanks for the warning? I'm just saying if it was a tornado, you know, whoosh. Especially during the Christmas season. A pretty expensive time, all things considered. So imagine if you, God forbid, didn't keep up with content creators online. No, what are you doing? Come on. Or even worse, if you had just entered the hobby and you weren't even aware that these bundles were a thing. And even hobbyists that are aware they're coming can't be 100% sure. So sorry, Kirioth, but he wasn't alone. There was plenty of speculation that the boxes wouldn't come out this year. So there's some level level of awareness in the community that these boxes are not a 100%. Once again, we play the Games Workshop waiting game as we walk a tightrope of uncertainty, asking ourselves the question, do I buy a combat patrol this month? Do I not? I would prefer to hold out for a battle force, but what if they don't come out this year? And if they do come out, what if they don't come out for my faction? I guess I'll just buy a combat patrol, and if the battle force box comes out, I'll buy that too. Mission accomplished, GW! You've clawed an extra $140 from one hobbyist who is willing to spend far too much and completely f***ed over another who wasn't even aware that the boxes were coming in the first place. And it may work out mathematically in the short term, but you're not making fans of either of them in the long term. And also, unlike a general sale on products, Battleforces don't lead to a discount on everything on their store. Battleforces are limited in scope. Firstly, Games Workshop choose which armies to discount. So if you're not interested in any of the ones on offer this year, too bad, you're out of luck. Good luck in the raffle next year. And even if the Battle Force is for a faction that you're interested in, you still have to eat what Jeff eats. Or in non-Mighty Bush terms, you need to buy what Games Workshop wants you to buy. Your Battle Force box might suck. That's too bad. This is the seal. Deal with it. And looking at the selections this year, there is no doubt that Games Workshop are trying to move some product that didn't sell, especially that Necron Battle Force. I see you. So really, all they are time limited, large bundles with an okay discount. That's it. Business as usual for most other miniature companies, honestly. And the funny thing is, I'm not actually sure if the Battle Forces were planned this year. I think that Karioth and Valric were sort of right when they speculated that the boxes wouldn't be sold this year. I think they've been hastily thrown up on the store. And I speculate that it's because the last few releases from Games Workshop have seemingly sold pretty badly. Because if Battle Force boxes are the only way the Games Workshop know how to do a sale, then if you look at it in that light, these look a little bit desperate. Essentially a last-minute fire sale to try and capture some of that Christmas rush. Because think about the recent releases. Kill Team Octarius, that limited box, still in stock. Warhammer Underworld, still in stock. The Black Templar box, still in stock. And obviously we won't know more until the next annual report from Games Workshop, but my speculation here is that a lot of new hobbyists joined the hobby last year because of COVID, and then Games Workshop did what they always do. They squeezed them for everything they had. And predictably to everyone except seemingly Games Workshop, a lot of those new hobbyists left. The market has changed. It's not as big anymore. And this should be a lesson for GW. But sadly, I don't think it's one they're going to learn. So rather than Christmas Battle Force boxes, do you know what would be better? Well, how about an all year round Battle Force box for every faction? Secondly, how about some sales? We're entering the Black Friday period, and there's going to be a lot of sales for miniatures. But Games Workshop will conspicuously not be discounting anything on their store, probably, because historically they haven't. So, you know, I think they should. All the problems I've mentioned in this video about relying on bundles get easily resolved by a sale event. And, well, GW products are overpriced at the best of times. A sale would go a long way to making them look a little more reasonable. But we'll get into why Games Workshop don't do sales in the next video. And so, ultimately, when looking at these Battle Force boxes, every hobbyist has to ask themselves, not necessarily whether these boxes are cheaper when compared to buying the products inside them individually, but rather, are they actually a good deal? Don't focus on the discount. Focus on what you want. Does it actually provide value for the amount of money that you're going to spend? And if it is, great, spend away. But I hope that it's a more considered purchase now, and that you don't lose your house buying all of them. Because starting Gene Stealer cults would make me lose mine if I had one. And if you found this at all valuable, please check out my Patreon at patreon.com/discourseminiatures. I release behind the scenes content and even give away my skits a day early for my patrons. And if you want to hear more about why I think the Games Workshop should rethink their pricing strategy, please check out my video above and subscribe to the channel if you want to catch my next video on Games Workshop sales, or lack thereof. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye!